Typically before the show, the chorus shows up a little early.
They try to pretend that we're not here. Just like back home, they keep us out of sight.
The soloists are kind of going over their final lines.
Hi, how are ya?
The ticket office is giving out tickets.
Yep, there it is.
It's a huge risk to commission any work of art, no matter how big or small. In my mind, for a while, it's just an idea.
Up the stairs and to the right.
But the moment it's on stage, it's sort of you open the doors to the world and let them in.
Good evening, folks. May I help you with your seat?
At Kansas City's Frolic Theater. Hello. They're ready for a world premiere.
Tonight is the world premiere of We the Unknown.
Ready?
White roses, pure as snow.
On stage,
How will I know?
Army Sergeant Edward F. Young
One to choose.
has a bouquet of white roses and a daunting choice.
Perhaps if I circle round.
The enlisted soldier, at first chosen as a pallbearer for the unknown soldier in 1921, was given the task at the very last minute to put white roses on one of 4 caskets with unknown American soldiers' remains, to select the one we still honor from World War I today.
You asked people how they would see them, they might say they saw, 4 white, straight guys who knew exactly what they were getting into, which can't possibly be true.
Poet Pat Daneman helped illuminate retired Army officer Rob Hill's idea to challenge us all through compelling music.
So I will walk.
To imagine the 4 unknowns Sergeant Younger had to choose from as soldiers we may never have imagined before.
A soldier who's openly expressing his fear of going into battle.
It is an interesting feeling, fear, part dread, part shame.
Black soldier.
They try to pretend that we're not here. Just like back home, they keep us out of sight and give us the dirty work. But I'm a damn good soldier.
Gay soldier.
To this, to him, I pledge my all. I pledge my all.
The 4th unknown, it's his mother telling his story. So we sort of get the outline of that individual.
He hated lima beans and loved vanilla ice cream.
The songs.
Blossoms fill the air.
Performed on stage for the first time ever with Kansas City's Heartland Men's Chorus and the U.S. Army Field Chorus Men's Ensemble.
As a composer, that's when I get to let it go.
When spring comes back with rustling shade.
Are the work of composer Tim Takash.
I just kind of have to sit and let it wash over me.
There's an impact, Takash says, to look at the unknown soldiers and all soldiers as ones with much deeper stories.
We spend the whole piece trying to figure out who these people might have been, and it's up to the character of Sergeant Younger to decide which one of these caskets is the unknown soldier.
Close my eyes and hear you.
Sergeant Younger is center stage, down center stage, and he's holding this bouquet of white roses. And these 4 might have been unknowns come forward and gather around, and you see them from the back, and so they're facing him. and they're just surrounding him, and you get this overwhelming sense of responsibility that he must have felt with them sort of looking him in the face. And we don't get to see him choose. And at that point, we realize it doesn't really matter, because as soon as he chooses, that person, that body, that casket, all of a sudden transforms into a symbol.
And it should be a unifying symbol, a symbol that brings us together.
He might have come from any one of millions of American homes. We do not know his station in life, because from every station came the patriotic response of the 5 millions. President Warren Harding said those very words at the unknown soldier's burial on this very ground, where nearly 100 years later, dedicated Americans still honor a soldier's sacrifice.
And we just see this concrete slab, but what's powerful in that is that here are Americans from all walks of life, from all over America at this place, honoring a young man who gave his life for his country.
So, shouldn't we get to know every American soldier's story better before they're gone? Or for that matter, shouldn't we get to know everyone better?
There are unknowns around us every day. There are individuals who are going through life and are facing challenges. They may not be the challenge of battle, but they are battles in their own right, and that's sort of what this piece gets after. Anybody could be the unknown. Anybody could in a sense, be our hero.
A hero who rests in honored glory. An American soldier. No, but to God.
He's meant to represent us all.